Hey, AfterBuzzers, we are so excited. We have a special guest, Meghann Fahy, in the studio from the amazing Freeform new show, The Bold Type, so stick around.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
This is the perfect song. Meghann chose it.
Yes.
Meghann! Thank you so much for joining us. We are so excited.
I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have so much to get into today, so let's get into it. And before we do, we just want you to be able to find us on all social media platforms. You can find me personally on Twitter at Ally Nasta and on Instagram at Ally Girl. And Karla, where can they find you?
Hi guys, you can find me on Twitter at Karla with a K, Beltran R, and you can find me on Instagram at Karla with a K, BE Travels.
And Meghann, where can they find you?
On Instagram and Twitter, Meghann Fahy. Try spelling it. And on Twitter, it's Meghann Fahy.
Amazing. And Becca, where can they find you?
Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV.
Amazing. And don't forget to follow AfterBuzz TV on all social media platforms. Comment, tweet us, and make sure right now you can join us in live chat and ask questions or hashtag ABTV Ask Sutton. Well, we have so many questions, and first of all, we just want to say this show is amazing. We are super, super, super fans, if that's even a thing.
Obsessed.
Thank you. I am also a fan. Am I allowed to be?
Of course you can.
Okay.
I mean, how does it felt, the feedback that you guys have been getting so far? What's it like to be around that on set?
It's been amazing. I mean, we just wrapped, so, but we were still shooting when the first couple of episodes aired, so we were all together kind of live tweeting and like experiencing it with everybody in real time, which was really amazing. We did some like Instagram live stuff, some Facebook live stuff, and we got to really connect with people and hear what their thoughts were, and it was awesome. People have been so kind and seem to be really excited about the show and what we're talking about on it, so it's been great.
Yeah. I mean, we've all been talking about how it's been so relatable to everybody in, like, women in the workplace and just kind of struggles that you're going through. I feel as if I can relate with Sutton's character so much with, like, being an assistant, trying to break out of that kind of rut that she feels like she's in. With that, we actually have had a lot of questions of how you could relate to that character. Do you and Sutton have any similarities?
Absolutely. I think Sutton's super sensitive, and so am I. I think, like, I'm not in the fashion world and never have been, but I connect to her in terms of, like, being an actor. You know, like, you do spend a lot of time, like, working really hard for not that much, and I think that's what Sutton's experiencing. Like, she even sort of, she takes a risk and gets the job that she wants in the department that she wants, but it's actually less money than she's making. But she's like, it's worth it because it's what I am passionate about.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand that aspect of sort of pursuing the thing that means the most to you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what all the girls are, like, doing right now. And we've talked about, we all took the quiz online.
Oh, yes.
The character quiz?
Yes.
What did you get?
I got Kat, but I'm like,
Awesome.
I feel like I can relate to all the girls
Right,
in different ways.
Totally.
Yeah, I got Kat too.
I got Jane.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that got Jane.
And our other host, Leslie, that couldn't make it today, she got Kat too. So we were all like,
Yeah.
we're all cats.
Oh, Leslie, miss you.
But, yeah, no, all the characters, each parts of them, we all kind of feel like it's not just one. And I thought that was what was so great is that usually in a show you're like, I'm that person.
Yeah.
But in this show, all three of the girls are just, you're kind of every single one of them.
And you
going
kind of want to be all
struggles.
of them too.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I want to be all of them.
Yeah, and not to mention, can we have your wardrobes because they are
Yes.
awesome.
Right? It's kind of insane. I'm learning so much because I'm really not a fashionable human. That's just not, I just don't have an eye for it. So that's been really, really cool to explore. I'm kind of like, okay, I trust you. I have no idea if I look like a clown, but no. Frank Fleming is our costume designer, and he's a genius. He's amazing, and like what he does so well, which is so important, I think, is obviously fashion is a huge part of the show, but what's most important for him is that we feel comfortable and confident and good in what we're wearing, and it's really a collaboration through and through. So we're so grateful for him and the work that he's done on the show because it's amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic because I think through your guys' wardrobe, we're able to see your guys' personality.
Yeah,
and
totally.
It's so awesome. I'm like, yes!
Absolutely.
Like, I would wear all of those outfits.
Yeah, I think, like, what you wear is an expression of how you're feeling and what you want to communicate to people about who you are, you know?
Yeah.
So it's
Definitely.
hugely important, yeah.
Whether you're thinking about it or not, to be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah, just like in a couple episodes ago where they were talking about how she was the political, I forget what she was, what the woman, I don't know, what she did the article on her.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that she was kind of releasing some of her emotions through what she was wearing. And I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
So it was cool. Also, guys, I'm so sorry.
Taylor
I
Gates.
always do this.
fine,
Taylor's on the couch. She's in the chat. She's she's reading. She's
Taylor.
commenting back. Taylor, where can they find you on social media?
You guys can find me on Twitter at alphaba_Ann and on Instagram at Taylor_Gates_ and talk to me on YouTube. Talk to me in the chat.
Yes.
Ask some questions.
Can I just circle back to
Yes.
it's Alphaba?
Yes.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
I love me some Wicked. So.
Same girl.
Yes.
Which, speaking of Wicked, we hear that you sing and you're very musically inclined. I did see a question earlier where it was someone actually in the chat, Sweeted Frog, said, since all of the girls have musical backgrounds, would they be down for a musical episode? Is that something that the show would
That'd be
consider
so cool.
doing?
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot.
Oh my gosh.
I'm hoping that we talk about it so much that they're like, oh, now we have to do it.
Yes.
No, I think it would be so fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Katie and Aisha are amazing and super talented. They play multiple instruments. Aisha, like, plays the drums.
Oh, wow.
And the ukulele and the guitar and the piano. It's insane.
Oh, that's crazy.
And Katie is so talented. Like, she writes songs and, like, oh, we'll be hanging out and she'll be like, I wrote something last night at like 2 a.m. Do you want me to play it for you? And I'm like, in like 15 minutes is like how long it takes her to write a song. I'm like,
Wow.
Please, I wish I could do that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but I do love to sing. I started my career I was in a Broadway musical.
Oh, wow.
Which one?
It's called Next to Normal.
Okay. Oh,
Yes.
yes. We were talking about that
Yeah,
right before.
we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, that's what she's gonna say.
it's one of my favorite jobs of all time.
I
Oh my
love
gosh,
Next to
that's
Normal.
amazing. We were like, maybe we can get her to sing on the show a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, no, but then they're like, they were like, so what? We write a scene where everybody goes to karaoke and like, turns out you guys are all awesome singers. Like, no.
Or they can do it. I mean, I feel like almost every show has one of those goofy episodes, whether it be them do a talent show or something of
Yeah.
some sort, where,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
maybe it's just a standalone. You have to have a musical episode to get musically inclined people.
I know.
I feel like it would just make sense.
Or just like randomly incorporate your musical
Like-
talents into
Yeah.
like different episodes throughout the
Yeah.
season.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you know, I've been writing, and then I wanted to write a song, and then Katie could incorporate that into
Yes.
Jane's character.
And then you guys
I
could
think
all
it's
sing the
so
song together.
doable. I love this. We'll have to
Don't
give you
give
guys
us
some
a girl
credit.
group.
Full typewriters. If you're listening, you know.
Tweet them.
Yes.
Yes, no, they're awesome on Twitter.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
I'm like always tweeting stuff about the show because I'm obsessed and I love Twitter and they're always on top of it.
Yeah, they
So
are.
on
They
top of
respond
stuff.
to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Well, we talked about the relationship between the three girls a little bit, and you guys have this inseparable bond. What it comes off on television, it's super fluid, and I just wanted to know: is it like that offset too? Do you guys have a great bond and being friends, and what's that kind of like?
Absolutely. It's just the truth. And I think that that's what people respond to on the show. Like,
Yeah.
it really is an authentic connection that we have. I don't think you can fake that kind of chemistry. So we got really lucky. But we talk about it all the time. It's like we've only known each other for a little over a year at this point, and it feels like it's been
Forever.
forever. I know that people say that, and it's so cliche, but it's actually really true.
I completely understand that. Especially, there's some friends that they come into your life, and you're almost like, "How did you get here? And how did I not have you
Yeah.
a couple months ago?"
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know?
We're also really honest with each other, which I think makes a huge difference. Because being on set's really hard. We
Yeah.
spend like hours and hours and hours, like every single day, and it can be a tough environment. But we call each other out all the time, and we apologize to each other, and like it's the way that we communicate. I think is like really the key
Definitely.
to keeping things like happy and
Yeah.
Right.
a good work
Yeah.
environment.
yeah.
We love your guys' friendship. I was
Yeah.
talking about how
You
we
could
loved
see it.
the reaction you guys had when you got the job last week, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, you're in the elevator!" We're like, "That's so cute."
It's so adorable. Did you know anyone in the cast before starting The show?
I did not.
Oh,
No. I didn't.
And also, we had another question too with going about knowing things before. Did you also audition for any other roles, or was it just Sutton's character that you auditioned for?
It was just Sutton.
Okay.
Yeah. I made a self-tape in New York, which every time I do that, I'm like, ugh, this is like never going to go anywhere because I don't know, it just feels like that.
Yeah.
But,
It went somewhere.
Clearly you're here, so that's amazing. So did you read the script and it kind of just moved you, and that's what kind of brought you to it, or you were just kind of like, this seems fun? What was your thought process behind picking this out?
What I loved about the script when I read it actually was the storyline in the pilot between Sutton and Richard. Which I think
Which leads to my question.
yeah, I loved it. I thought like, wow, they're really playing against what could very easily fall into just like a cliche romance of like an older, more powerful man and a younger woman in a lesser position. And they didn't, they played against that, which I was like, oh, this is interesting. This is exciting. And then of course like the relationship between the three women and all of those things are so great, but that's the thing that stuck out to me really, was that relationship.
Yeah.
I know Karla's going to say something
really
about
quick,
Richard.
Karla, before you ask that question, I think that cliche you were talking about is so true, because all of us watched the first episode and we immediately were like, he's going to be a villain, he's going to do something wrong. And so, we're about 4 episodes in, and every episode we're like, what is he going to do that's going to be that thing? And then he just constantly shuts us down of that belief, and it's awesome.
It's
because
amazing.
It's refreshing to see that, okay, he really does care about her and he wants the best for her.
Totally.
So I love that they're breaking against that. But Karla, go ask your question.
I've been Team Richard since episode 1. So
Yeah, same.
I'm hoping that the question that I have is, does Sutton get engaged before the season finale?
Oh my god, I love yes. Yes.
Yes?
No.
Do we just get a spoiler? Like, what's happening?
The first episode of hopefully season 2 is the wedding. I'm lying.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
lying. But
we're all just like really like.
My face is like,
There's got to be a season 2 of the show.
question.
Yeah.
Yes, there's no wedding. Yet.
Yeah. Okay.
that we know
That's
of.
what we hope.
Bold typewriters, again, if you want to put that in there, you can. Amazing. What's going on in the chat, Taylor? Anybody saying anything cool? What's happening?
Yeah, LSK wants to know if she has any funny moments from the set, like any pranks or just like funny happenings.
Totally. There's a really good one, which I used to talk about this before the episodes aired and nobody understood, but the yoni egg scene where Katie gets the yoni egg stuck inside of her. So the day we were filming that, our director pulled Aisha aside like between takes, didn't say anything to me, didn't say anything to Katie, and handed her like a rubber ducky and like a keychain and something else, and he was like, okay, during this next take, just start pulling this out. And so that's what happened, but I didn't know, and I was like, oh my god, Aisha is losing it. I was like, what is she doing? She's pulling out a duck right now. And so Katie and I were both still like staying in the scene, like, because we thought she was just being crazy person. So we were like not breaking. We were like still doing the thing, and then finally Aisha was like, "You guys, like nothing. I just pulled a rubber duck out of between Katie's legs and nothing." But it turns out that our director was the one who was behind the
Playing
that's
brains.
so funny.
That's amazing.
He does that all the time.
That's
Absolutely brilliant.
It was great.
That is
It was
so
really funny.
That scene got me so, like, I was like, okay. Dying at laughing.
Yeah, it's intense.
It was.
Dying
I was
out
like,
laughing.
that's true friendship right there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, we were all
Seriously.
like, that is what friendship is. This defines friendship.
I know I just met you girls, but I'm just saying.
We feel the bond.
Call me.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. That is so good.
Yes.
Taylor, do we want to pull some questions also from Twitter really quick? Just maybe one or two.
So what is your favorite episode of season 1? Has it aired
Yes.
in the future?
It hasn't aired yet.
Ooh.
Yay.
Do you know the number off the top of your head?
I I love 6.
Okay,
cool.
so we're
like
like
two away.
2 away.
I love 6 and I love 8.
6 and 8.
We shot 2 episodes at once for the whole
okay.
season, so like
It's like
in
which
my
episode?
brain it's really hard to separate which episode's
Right.
which episode, but yeah. There's some really good stuff coming up that I'm so excited about.
Oh my gosh, we can't even wait. After
Yeah.
every episode, we're like, when is this over? We want more.
Yeah,
And we
we
all
all
get
trying to extend
emotional.
the conversation as much as we can over time.
Yeah.
So,
I don't even, it's like the show is so good and I feel so emotional after every episode. Like, is it late? Like, I don't know why I'm doing this. Like, this. Like, it just really resonates with me. It's so amazing.
We've been watching it together, and we're all there like, oh my gosh! And then we come here, and we run out of time to talk about things because
Yeah,
we have like
'cause-
this huge list of everything we want to talk
Yeah.
about, and then we run out of time. It's like, oh, the show's
we're
over.
like freaking out about what happens in every episode.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are going to be thrilled with the rest
so-
of the season because
Can't.
it's so good.
I'm so excited.
And then Kimberly Sylvester wants to know what the best advice Joanna Coles has given to the cast. Has she talked to you guys at all?
The best advice Joanna Coles has ever given me, and you can quote her on this, don't be an asshole.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great advice.
It's great advice.
We love that advice.
Just don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
I feel like
Can I
that's
say?
Yeah.
okay.
You're fine.
No, I feel like
Sorry.
that's Jacqueline advice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gonna say.
that is. I mean, that's something she said. Then you gotta say it.
Yeah.
And we're on the internet. It's fine.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
anything that network.
No, that makes sense because I mean, in this and working and everything in your life, if you're just nice and you just treat everybody with the respect that you want to be given, then you should be fine.
Exactly.
But I just and there's so many people that I think forget that and they just kind of
Yeah.
get in their head and it's not pleasant.
Yeah, I think that's another thing. Like the show shows through, especially Jane, is like
Yeah.
she overthinks things sometimes, and I'm
Definitely.
like, that's so me. Like that's
Yeah.
why I can, even though I got Kat on that thing, and I can relate to Kat because I love social media stuff like that. I'm like, I can kind of relate to the overthinking.
Yeah.
Then-
Right.
Well, it's like what you said before, being able to relate to all 3 of the girls. It's we're not creating characters that are like you're this or you're this. It's like you're everybody. We're
Yeah.
all different versions of ourselves every day, you know?
Yeah.
So I think the show reflects that in a really honest way, which I think is great.
Definitely. And it is so great that they also, too, don't... It's not all negative, you know?
Yeah.
Whenever Jane's doubting herself and overthinking things, we have, like, Jacqueline come in and
yeah.
remind her that things are going to be okay.
Yes.
And I think sometimes, too, that's why the show is fun, because it gives you that kind of... that hope for your future almost
Yeah.
because you're dealing with things in your head and you
Agreed.
always constantly think the worst thing. I mean, I know
Yeah.
I personally am always like thinking you have to think positive and you have to think be confident in yourself, and that's kind of what Jacqueline is there to push Jane and all of the other girls to do, I feel.
Absolutely.
So
We love Jacqueline. We think she could be like the best boss ever, and we think
She
that
is
she
the
should
best
be
boss ever.
like everybody's boss.
I agree.
Because just the way that she empowers you guys in the show is just, it's very inspiring as somebody who's trying to get in the same like workplace, and then people realize like, oh, not everybody's super mean, because a lot of people think like, oh, this industry is like rude, and then you see it and it's like, oh my gosh, they're all empowering each other, and it's really nice to see on screen.
Well,
Absolutely.
in every episode, I feel like she kind of like gives a summary of like the message of
Yeah.
that episode. There's a message behind every episode,
Yeah.
whether it's like 1 or 2 or 3.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
This show is deep.
it is.
Yeah, it
There's
is.
There's a lot going
It
on.
makes me. I feel like last episode and the first episode for sure, I teared up at the end when she was making that speech. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
The
Ally
Scarlet.
remembers.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was like, "We're your big sister," and it's true.
Yes.
You always
Yeah.
need that person that's going to give you that last bit of advice to make you feel like you can do this. You got
Absolutely.
this.
And this
Power
show
pose,
is like
you
a
got
big
this.
sister, I think.
Yeah, it's
Because
awesome.
Yeah.
honestly, when you watch it, I feel like all of the stories, like we've said, are very relatable. And I feel like all the people who watch Freeform are very interested into stories like this, because they're within that age range where
Absolutely.
like they're in the same situation, and it's really helpful to see how somebody handles it, and that there are consequences, but at the same time, like it all takes time, and like you're okay. You're on your
Totally. I
way.
think
yeah.
what we love about the show is that it is so positive, and it does display like really amazing female friendships and relationships. And I think a lot of times in the content that we see, it's not that. So it's easy to sit and watch something like that and think, oh, that's how I can succeed by doing that. But what our show is trying to do is, like, you don't have to do that. Actually, it's, you know, you can be supportive of yourself and be other people, and like everybody wins. It doesn't have to be any other way.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about in our last show, that it was so fantastic to see how you guys all support each other in the good and in the bad, because and that you're happy for each other, because when you got the job, it was like everybody was super excited for you. And sometimes like in real life, you kind of lose friends when you actually make it to what you want to do instead of them being there for you. So it was really nice to kind of see that, because it's in a way, like, you guys are being role models to people, like, hey, like, be happy for your friends and be excited for what they're accomplishing. So it's really nice to like have that be shown, and like you guys play that role together, because it's really inspiring.
There's room for everybody to do what they want to do. There just is.
Yeah.
Dream. Like,
I know, dreams can never be too big, honestly. And you have to just continue to chase after them. And that's, I think this show just kind of represents, is that you can, that last episode, just fighting for what you wanted was what really resonated with me, and it was awesome.
One of my personal favorite quotes is that if your dreams are not big enough, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. And it's like, you have to be bold and you have to dream big. And this is like, I feel like this show shows you that. I mean, it's bold.
I was like, I don't know if you meant to.
We're all about bold girls. So that happened.
Well, switching gears just a little bit, I want to talk about on set and what's it like filming in New York. Do you guys have a lot of like on the street kind of filming, or how does that go?
So we shot in Montreal,
right?
But we came to New York at the end of sort of the run to do some exterior stuff, because Montreal actually doubles for New York really well, which I was shocked by. I'm a New Yorker, so it was like there's this subway scene in the pilot, and I was like, this is not New York. This doesn't look like New York. And like no one else cared. They were like, what?
Yeah.
But because I lived there, I was like, this isn't gonna cut it. But Montreal really does double well. And then of course, we came here. We're in LA right now. We came to New York to do some outside stuff. We shot in Central Park and like the Flatiron Building and stuff that you just can't
remake.
Yeah, it's just So I think that's gonna be awesome to have those little bits and pieces. But Montreal's incredible.
Right.
Honestly, I had the best time. Have you ever been?
Never. I've only flown there. I feel like that's where I fly Air Canada. So it's always like
go to Montreal. It's like French as hell.
It's pretty.
Yeah. And the food is dope, and you kind of feel like you're in Europe.
The food matters.
Yes, count me in. I'm there.
Yes,
I am there.
I was gonna say a lot of, I guess 2 of the Freeform shows right now are filming in Canada, which is interesting to me, because Shadowhunters too.
Yeah.
Oh, Toronto, yeah.
I think Riverdale is in, like,
so
filmed.
much.
And, so many things. And one of my other shows that I'm doing, everything's being filmed in Canada right now.
Yeah.
And they do, like, little scenes.
Interesting.
Yeah, they do little scenes, like you were mentioning, like, on the streets, things that you can't replicate. They come to, like, LA to film, like, actual, like, streets and everything. Amazing. We have a couple more questions in the chat, and we want to get into just what's Meghann like? You know, what are your hobbies? We have someone in the chat saying, Sweeted Frog saying, what would Meghann include in her mood board?
Oh.
That's a great question.
Yes.
You know, they were supposed to use like my actual photos and stuff. My mom put together this adorable package of like pictures of me from when I was a kid and stuff, like wearing little floppy hats and like jumpers. But it didn't get to Canada in time, so they had to make the mood board without the photos.
Future episode.
I know. What would be on my mood board? Well, my niece. I just became an aunt.
Oh my gosh, is that not the best thing in the world?
It's really exciting. I've only met her once, but I see videos of her and I weep.
I
can't handle it.
I understand. I became an aunt last year, and I never I held my niece for the first time and was like, I will never let anything hurt you.
I literally wish that I had my phone on me because I would show you the photo. It is so embarrassing. I'm holding her and I'm like, Oh my god. It's a great
Like,
photo.
kids can do no wrong.
So yes. So she would probably be like right in the center.
Amazing.
Emma. So cute. Yeah.
So great. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
That's awesome. I was gonna say, the Bold Tip I feel like is the first kind of really freeformy show on the network. Like, it's breaking boundaries, doing what I feel like Freeform is like the brand is, which
Trying
is
to do.
awesome. So
Yeah, I guess because they have been like slowly but surely like switching and transitioning things over to make it
it's like
their
the
voice.
like gearing toward the older audience, young adult audience, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it too. I mean, Freeform has been
boundaries.
amazing. They're so cool. We're doing some stuff. You've seen the first couple of episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like talking about orgasms and all the great stuff, and they've been amazing. They're like, yeah, let's do it. So I think that's awesome. They want to kind of like go to a new place, and our show is a part of that transition, and I feel really excited about that. It's so cool.
Yeah. It is really cool. How does it cool to kind of be in the same realm as Cosmo? Like, did you read it growing up, like Cosmo?
Yeah, I really did. I really did. I remember being on, like, when we would go on field trips, and we would take, like, the fancy buses, because we'd go to Boston or whatever. I grew up in Massachusetts. We'd go to, like, the aquarium or something. And my friends and I would buy Cosmo, like, secretly, because we were so young, like... too young to be reading it, maybe. And we would like cut out the stuff that we loved, and like we would like paste it into this little book, and we called it like our little Cosmo Bible.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
That's
True story.
That's
that.
And now you're here.
Yeah.
And now you're basically.
And now I read it even more because
bet.
I'm like, I have more of an understanding about how that actually comes together and just how much work it takes.
Right.
And so every page, I'm like, wow, that must have taken them. You know, instead of just like mindlessly flipping through. Now it means so much more to me. But
And now they're posting like pictures of the cast on Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah, they did. We were in one of the issues, which was so crazy to like walk into a CVS and just like see
you there.
Like, my face. But it was like, I was like, that's not real.
It is.
It's real.
You're like, I'm cutting this for the Bible. For
Yeah,
sure.
I was like, that's gonna put in the book.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. I'm so happy for all you guys and what this show represents and everything. But like I was saying, what's your hobbies? What are you doing in your free time? If you have any free time, or are you guys finished shooting for this season? Correct?
Yes, we finished. I don't even remember what I used to do with my free time before this show. I really don't. I'm going on vacation though, which I'm really excited about.
Yay! Where are you going?
I'm going to Greece.
Oh,
yeah.
Is this your first time?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
I
so
might never
exciting.
come back though.
No, we need season.
Of, like,
We
people
need season
going
2.
to
So
No,
you
come
need to
back.
come back.
Season 2, it's gonna happen.
We'll go get you.
Complete faith.
Yeah.
That's
So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just taking a little break and
Yeah, and
love this
enjoy
little
it. Yeah. How many months were you guys actually shooting the show?
I got up to Canada the end of March.
Okay.
And then we finished last week, so
Oh wow. Okay.
however long that is.
Yeah. Wait, so when did you
6 months.
actually find out that you got the role on The Bold Type?
So they flew me out to test for the show from New York to LA. And I was here for a couple of days testing for it, like a lot, with other people. I read with Aisha. We had a chemistry read. She read with a couple of other girls and stuff. They were like swapping us, mixing us, and I read with a bunch of Richards. And I knew right away that I was like, it's Sam for me.
Yeah.
But then, anyway, so yeah, we wrapped that all up, and I got on a plane to fly back, and when I landed, I had, like, 15 messages, like, from my manager and my agent being like, call us.
Oh my god.
You're like, great.
And
means
I
something.
knew, that's when I knew, because they only call me, really, if... They don't call you to give you bad news. They just, like, email you. They're like, not going further.
Yeah.
They call you to
15
be like,
messages.
it's good news!
Yeah.
So,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
I was still on the plane, like taxiing to the gate, and they told me, and I was just like,
screaming on the plane.
no, I just started crying.
Oh.
Yeah, I did. I just
Like, I'm okay.
Well, congratulations.
gosh.
We're so excited to have you as our Sutton.
Yeah, seriously. We can't imagine any other person playing
Yeah.
this role because you do it so amazingly.
Guys.
No,
I
I can't. I
Two
seriously.
girls.
I don't think we can give you enough compliments because we literally.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sleep here.
Okay,
tonight.
that sounds great.
Yes.
We'll
This
just
has
keep
been
you here
amazing.
until Tuesday when we do the next episode, and
Yeah.
then we'll just
And
have
we'll
you on.
watch it and
Yeah.
we'll just like
Yes.
talk about it.
That sounds
That
great.
would be so fun.
Yeah.
Sleep over.
Let's do it.
Yeah, sleep over at the studio. That'd be so much fun. Well, before we wrap up, maybe we just grab one or two more questions
Yes.
from Twitter to make sure we're hearing them and we're listening to them.
Sure.
I have a good one too.
Someone in the live chat wants to know what's it like working with Melora because they love her. I
Taylor
love her.
loves her.
I'm
Yes.
a huge Jacqueline fan.
Oh my god, Melora's the best. She's great. Yeah, we were all big fans of hers before we started. So when we found out that she was joining the show, we were like, yeah. Obviously, because I watched her on The Office and stuff. I love that show.
Yeah.
But she's great. She really is. She loves to dance. Oh, she's a dancer. She loves to sing. I think she would be very on board for the musical episode.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Yes. So now the
pushing this
musical episode
musical
has to go.
episode.
She's also
too.
extremely kind. She got one day, like on her birthday. It was her birthday, and she was like, and I hired a masseuse to give everyone else massages. It was very sweet.
She's like, for my birthday.
Yeah.
For my birthday, I would like to give you something. It was very sweet.
That kind of person?
Yes.
Oh.
So she's really like Jacqueline in
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
life, basically.
Yeah.
We love her even
I was
more
gonna say,
now.
what's your favorite Jacqueline quote? So far.
Oh, God. You know, Sun doesn't really have a lot of stuff with Jacqueline.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
That is
So-
pretty true. It's mostly Jane, I feel like, at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Jane and
Kat.
Kat, because she's saved Kat a couple of times.
Yeah, she
for
said
the,
Cat last episode.
From jail.
Yeah. Yeah. From
That episode aired yet?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
No, and now we could
Spoiler!
fast have covered it up.
Which, speaking of Cat and Adina.
Yeah.
Kadena!
Adina.
Yes.
Becca's
Wow.
loving their relationship.
I can't get enough. I
Yeah.
can't get enough. They're so cute.
I know. I watched their like live Insta the other day, and even
Same.
just them, they're so sweet, and just them together
Nicole's
is so
amazing.
fun.
Nicole's amazing. So
when-
is Aisha, obviously, but
When they kissed, I was like, oh, I'm gonna cry.
I know.
Becca went out back
It's very
and jumped
sexy.
on
I
a
watched it and I
trampoline.
was like,
And there's a trampoline in the back, and Becca went out there,
Wait,
and
there-
she was so excited that she started jumping on the trampoline.
I was like, this is news.
Wait, what? Have you
thing.
ever been in the back in a while? There's a trampoline.
It's a small one, but they're
I
hanging
would love
back
for
there.
you to
Oh.
show me that trampoline
Will
on the
do.
way out.
Yeah, it's so great.
That is so
awesome.
awesome.
I have a question from Jules at Bold Type on Twitter. If you could choose a theme song for Sudden, what would it be?
Ooh.
Ooh. You know, this is funny because we were talking about this the other day. Like, what would be our Disney, like, what song from, like, a Disney movie would be, like, our character's songs?
Yeah.
But that's not answering the question that the person
No,
asked.
we want to know that.
I want to know that answer too. I love Disney.
What would Sutton's song be?
Love me some Disney.
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
What's your
something
Disney one? Maybe we
empowering.
can, we can make it a Disney one then if you already have that on your.
There's a song by Mr. Wives called Machine,
Uh-huh.
which I think is so good for the show. I don't know if it's specific to Sutton, but I think for the three girls, it's like,
Yeah.
it's badass.
Love it.
Yeah.
Which defines them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wait, and what's your, now I'm like intrigued, what's your like Disney song for Sutton?
I think we settled on, like, the song that Belle sings at the beginning of Beauty and the Beast when she's,
Yeah.
like, picking up the books and she's like...
Oh, yes! You
Yeah.
can totally
Yeah.
say Belle!
Yeah, I think that's the Sutton song. I don't remember the
An
words to
episode
that.
where everyone is a Disney princess now.
Yeah.
And then Katie's was something from Hercules. Like, I think her... Or no. Yeah. I think hers was something that Meg sings. Hercules.
Ooh.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I feel like it's sad because whenever I think of it, I always only think of like the 5 Disney princess movies, and I'm like, well, those ones are it, and then I
Yeah.
never think of like Hercules and the other ones.
I know.
But that's good.
Pocahontas is my favorite.
Which
Yeah.
one?
Pocahontas.
Oh, okay.
I still watch it.
It's on
Honestly,
Netflix now.
I still I have like the 10-year
Yeah.
Blu-ray
Oh, wait, yeah, it
anniversary remastered edition because it calms me down. Like if I'm having anxiety, After
like
Pocahontas, and I'm set.
I love shows and movies that do that. I have that too, like the ones that you've watched so many times and it just brings you comfort. Like before you're going to bed at night, you just throw it on. It makes you like go to sleep.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
So do you like Once Upon a Time?
Yes, I watched. I was obsessed with that show for the first couple of seasons, and then I kind of like
Felt bad.
got a little bit lost.
Right.
Yeah.
But oh my god, yes.
I know. It is so good. They had a musical episode actually.
Did they?
Yeah,
Did?
they were on season 6. They just ended season 6. They're doing a season 7, and right before the season finale, they did a musical episode where everybody had to sing and dance. So you guys should check it out.
I have to watch it.
It's very fun.
I haven't seen the season at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go
Yeah.
check on that.
Once Upon a Time is one of those things that when you watch, it's just forget about like the outside world because it leaves you on cliffhangers every single one.
Yeah.
But
And you have to be paying
But
attention.
honestly,
to
that's
it.
why entertainment is so important. I think
Yeah.
like it is escapism to a certain degree, and it's like, and especially right now, like everybody deserves a little bit of that. I think.
definitely
Because there's so much that we're like all learning and trying and like have opinions about, and we're working so hard to like, you know, every once in a while it's nice to just tune out and
Totally. And I think that's another reason why, because this show is the positive vibe behind everything. Because, you know, you watch shows with so much, I mean, I'm not to say there isn't any so far, but, you know, we've seen so much positivity. And that's kind of what it makes you feel confident in yourself watching it. Instead of, you're not excited about the drama, you're excited about what's she gonna conquer this episode, and what is she gonna achieve,
what are these strong female characters going to accomplish in
Right.
this? And it's like, well, it's real life at the same time as escaping.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good
get
mix.
both.
Yeah, because you get to escape from your own situation to kind of see it on screen being played by somebody else and how they kind of go about it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the show just kind of gives you so much power. You're like, okay, like I was going
Going
through
back to
that,
the
but now I saw
models.
that what you did, and it's gonna help me kind of like plan with what I want to do. Yeah.
I love that so much. That makes me so happy.
I
It really does.
I advise everyone who's like getting out there in the real world for
to watch the
working life, etc., to watch the show.
Definitely.
I feel like it'll give them confidence.
Yes. Well, Meghann, we're so appreciative to have you in today. Thank
so
you
much fun.
so
Yes,
much.
thank
You're
you.
welcome back
Thank you for
whenever.
having
Tell
me.
everybody on the cast if they're
Yes.
ever in LA and they want to join us. We'd be happy to have them. And just really quick, is there any other projects or anything you're working on that you want to talk about? Or
Right now, I'm not focusing on anything but just like
vacation?
Yeah.
Greece.
Greece.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you have the best time. Well, thank you again. And make sure you guys are watching The Bold Type. It's on Tuesdays. You can watch our after show as well. Well, thank you so much again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Alrighty, and you guys can make sure to follow AfterBuzz TV on all social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Also, you can download the podcast on iTunes. It's everywhere. And Taylor, where can they find you on social media?
Hey guys, you can find me on Twitter at alphabet_Ann and on Instagram at Taylor_Gates_.
Becca, where can they find you?
Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV.
And Meghann, what about you?
I'm on Instagram at Meghann Fahy with an H and 2 N's, and Twitter Meghann Fagan.
Awesome. Karla?
And you guys can find me on Instagram at Karla with a K, BEE Travels, and you can find me on Twitter at Karla with a K, Beltran R. I forgot my own name. I was like,
You can find me on Twitter at Ally Nasta and on Instagram at Ally Girl. Thank you guys so much. We will see you next Tuesday for a recap of episode 5 of The Bold Type. See ya.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.